What the fuck you mean you don't know DJ Mark B? You better preach it. Say that. Say that. Oh, you better go now.
Welcome to Preach Care Preach with Rashad. We are the Prophet. Still another episode, another sermon coming at you from 12 Ounce Sports, Zingo TV, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere else you can find us. Welcome to the show, man. What's up, Rashad?
What it do, baby? Kawhi style, man. I'm missing the NBA right now, man. We should be in mid playoff form, but we still got a little stuff going on. Got a little UFC action yesterday, man, and I know we were talking about our NFL bets we gonna probably make this upcoming season, so still got a little bit of action going on, man. So it's not too bad. What's good with you, man?
Man, looking rough. I'm glad we don't do like a whole pat down of during this quarantine because I think they're gonna start opening up barbershops within a week. So I'm gonna be first in line. But I got to call my barber up and say, hey, save me a seat at this time. I need it. I need to be first. Need to be first.
Man, I'm rocking my, we rocking our hats anyway, man. But it's just like without the barbershops and all that kind of stuff, man. You kind of gotta do what you gotta do, but it's all good, man. What you think about that last dance from this past weekend, though?
Man, a great episode. I thought it was very, very the emotional part of the whole series and why Michael Jordan is who he is, what drives him, and I think something that probably won't ever click with him is that everybody wasn't like that, and I think that's what the whole point of bringing up Scott Burrell. Talk about him and how he can take it from Michael Jordan and stuff like that, and like he, pull guys who don't want to be pulled, push guys who don't want to be pushed, because at some point you're going to need them to that next level. And I thought that was very, very interesting to see, and I think that's had to do with a lot of like NBA stars now. Like, this is why LeBron James goes for veterans, and this is why. Russ and Kevin Durant, they probably couldn't win because they had the Robersons and the Sefolosha. They didn't have the guys who were, hard. He had Kendrick Perkins who was, battle tested. But, it's like if you don't have that streak in you, like we've seen from Jordan, we've seen from Kobe, just to name a few, it's kind of hard to get your team along. And when you need them, some guys never show up.
Yeah, it's just that thing of only a few people are made that way, whether it's sports, business, only a few people have that I'm going to win by all cost mentality. I'm going to outwork everybody mentality. Only a few people have that. And I understood what he was saying. He never asked somebody to do something that he wouldn't do. So whether that's win the suicides or, whatever drill you do, I'm trying to win every drill, stuff like that. Or I'm going to outlift everybody. Let's get to the gym, work hard, let's be in condition. So I understood what he was saying, but I just think in his mind he didn't understand the part of like, Mike, you're way more talented than everybody else.
Right.
So like even though we can put in the same amount of hours as you, you're just that much better than everybody else. So I think what he was trying to do was he knew that part, in a weird way. Even though he never said that part, he kind of knew it in a weird way. That's why he kind of did the thing of I'm gonna make you as tough as I am. So when we're in those moments, you won't fold under pressure. And you know, there's a method to everybody's madness, and I don't care what anybody says. You can't argue with the results because nobody plays a sport to lose. Whether those guys are as talented as Mike or not, nobody plays to lose.
Right.
So, those 6 championships, if you were lucky to be a part of one of those, hey man, you may have had to pay a price for as, some jokes, some criticism, some foul language, or maybe a punch in the chest or a punch in the eye at times, but he made it all worth it, I think. So you can't argue with the results that he got out of his run.
I got a big collection in my phone of Michael Jordan memes. And you talking about that episode had the best the best you can get from the whole Gary Payton situation. I gotta ask you a question right here. So why do you think he didn't want to give like Gary Payton his credit? Like I mean, obviously he laughed about it, stuff like that. But if you look at the numbers you saw from game 1 through 3 versus game 4 through 6, now obviously you got switches, you got doubles, you got all the different things that come into play. But when Gary started being the primary defender, then you saw positive results from the Sonics in that 96 finals, and it's kind of like, man, all right, we know Gary Payton was one of the best defenders to play the game. We kind of debate whether how great of a point guard he really is, on that all-time list. But it's like he was that man at that time, and I just don't understand. You see Jordan give respect to Zeke, and he don't like him. He gave respect to the Koo coach when he came back on the second time after the Dream Team destroyed him, but he didn't want to give it to Gary Payton.
I don't want to say he didn't give him credit. It's just because throughout that series, okay, they said first 3 games he didn't guard Mike. Second, then the last 3, the first 3 games he did it, the last 3 that he did. You really can't give him credit because Mike's results throughout the series varied anyway. All right, so you're looking at game 1, Mike was 9 out of 18, 50%. Second game, 9 out of 22, 40%. That's still without Gary Payton guarding him. Game 3, 11 out of 23, 47%. Still no Gary Payton guarding him. Then game 4, 6 out of 19, 31%. 11 out of 22, 50%. So he still had, a decent game. And then, of course, game 6, they won the title, and he was 5 out of 19. He mainly got his points off of free throws, 11 out of 12. So, I mean, I can't really say Gary was shutting him down, or maybe, it was just
shutting down is not that's not the question. I would say, because to be honest, you can't, even though people want to say, oh, Kawhi stopped LeBron in the finals, or, Kawhi the LeBron stopper, LeBron's still going to get his. It's just how hard of a challenge is it versus how easy it is without. Jordan was averaging like 32 points and then went to like 24 with Peyton on him through game 4 through 6. So, that means somebody else from the Bulls got to score. So I think that's what I mean as far as like credit. Like, okay, well, he made somebody else step up.
Like, to me, I don't think he wanted to say it, but I know, he kind of said he had other things on his mind. So of course, he's probably implying that Father's Day is coming up and all that kind of stuff. But I think Mike just don't want to say it. After you've been training since the summer with Space Jam, you came back on a mission, 72-10. You basically blitzed through everybody in the playoffs. You swept the Heat. You got the Knicks out of there in 5, and then you swept Orlando. I think he was just tired, bro. I think he was just tired. Like,
right, this too easy.
Like, man, y'all were 87-13, like in 100 game span for that year. Like, I think he was just tired. Like, I don't think that's cool for Mike to say. I was tired. I'm kind of worn down.
Right, yeah.
But I just think he was tired. Ultimately, I just think he was just worn out because look at Curry's numbers from their major run, stuff like that. His performance started to dip a little bit because he just didn't have any legs.
I mean, and that's all true too. I mean, I guess that when you're sweeping people, you ain't taking no days off. But you know how Mike is probably. So I thought that was pretty interesting to see. I love the Jordan Dome part, man. That was great to me because we get to see all these guys now, play these Drew Leagues and stuff like that, and you see like whatever fitness that place they be playing at in LA where you see Melo, you see Trae Young, and it's when I watch those videos, I like to look at everybody like, oh, that he playing? Oh, he playing too? And I thought like a little baby Juwan Howard out there playing around. Like I thought all that was cool, bro. I thought that was when Jordan trying to get back in shape for that dominant run against to beat Sonics in 6. I thought that was great to see. I kept rewinding trying to find out who else was out there because they showed Rodman, they showed Reggie, they showed Juwan, they showed I don't think they showed Weber. It was somebody else they showed. I was like, okay, I see him, but it's like, man, where was Shaq? They probably didn't want him out there because he probably dominated or something. But I was kind of see who was all out there, man, because I know that was an exciting time, especially like on Disney, like not Disney, Warner Brothers set.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the information's out there of who was there. I know Reggie has done interviews with I think it was Dan Patrick, and he was kind of talking about some guys that were there. And how fun it was, but at the same time, how crazy everybody was ahead of Mike getting in shape to come back and destroy all of them. So, you know,
They fell for the trap.
yeah, so a lot of guys were there, and you threw Shaq's not. Speaking of Shaq, real quick, man, he's been on his interview run lately,
Mm-hmm.
and he was throwing out stuff about he thinks the season should be canceled and
Right.
let everybody just go home and get healthy, all that kind of stuff. Which to a certain degree, I do agree with. And then he had to get his old shot in at the Spurs and his main rival during that time.
You got to.
He had to get a shot in, and understandably so, because I remember back in around that same time frame, Phil Jackson was throwing shots at the Spurs, talking about it was a shortened season. The ring don't count, but he was just doing it to get up under the Spurs and Pop's skin. So the main thing I want to talk about this, man. Why do people try to undervalue or even at sometimes overvalue certain championships? Because look at 2016 Cavs. I mean, we say that's like 3 rings for LeBron, but then you got something. Then you get, but then you get something like 99 Spurs, or that ring normally counts, lockout short the season, or you get like the 94-95 Rockets. People say, oh well, they won those without Mike in the league, so that don't really hold weight. So, why do you think people try to undervalue or even at times overvalue certain championships? Like, why do you think that is?
Man, great question. So I think it's all about in the moment. And I know Shaq all this crazy talking, and he had a chance. He could have won 99 too. He got smacked by Spurs. So
By the Spurs.
I don't know what he talking for. Like he couldn't win that series. But anyway, yeah, a lot of people we had a question about who had the greatest run. Detroit, the Mavericks, the Raptors, and I forgot who the other team was.
Boston
in '08. So and you try to say, okay, which championship run was better, but at the end result they all are championships. Winning is winning, but it's like, okay, 94, 95, the Rockets. It's not like they were. I can understand why people say, okay, it's not as much as a 2001 Lakers championship, because yes, the Jordan wasn't there on top of that, but the Rockets weren't even the best team in the West. They were like they won both their rings as a 5 and 6 seed. So it's kind of like
the first one they were like a 2 or 3 seed. The second one they was a 6 seed.
And the second one they had Clyde Drexler. So that's even
right. They stole Clyde at the trade deadline, man. Clyde got up out of Portland.
Yeah, too. But yeah, so you got that one. You said the 99 lockout season with Duncan, but it's like I don't understand Shaq's point about that when, like I said, you could have won yourself. But you got the dirt running through the Lakers, who won 2 in a row. Beating OKC, then you beat the Heat team that got formed together that summer, and you like, okay, that's the greatest ever, blah blah. And I don't know, it's kind of like we have to, because are all championships the same? Like even though Toronto had a great run, like I know I was on the Toronto bandwagon. Saying that we
were going to every podcast, pick Raptors in 6.
Hey, Raptors for real, we was there, and but it was more of talk about the injuries though leading up to it, because wasn't Clay banged up a couple times, and
well, no, it wasn't that. It was KD and whether or not Boogie was gonna come back or not.
Boogie, that's what it was. Boogie. So you had 2 guys now, like Raptors here. Like if KD ain't there, I ain't scared. Like that's a Raptors championship. And you saw the games. Okay, well, Kevin Durant, if he come back, what happens? Well, Kevin Durant, to me, provided that spark. And it's not necessarily that they with Kevin Durant, they would just run away with it. I mean, they probably would have won the series if he played the whole series. But, yeah, so it's kind of like, all right, do you value the Raptors championship that great when they didn't have Kevin Durant there? But saying the same for the Warriors. Kyrie and Kevin Love wasn't there when they won their first championship. So, do you value that? So it's kind of like how you want to look at it, what angle you taking. But yeah, I feel like we have to do it. But I can understand. I really can't understand the lockout season, because it's not like y'all were not playing basketball. Like, what I'm saying, how we talked Jordan Dome. You can play basketball anytime. Pick up basketball and go play. And you played 50-some games. And this season, kind of almost the same way a little bit. I mean, granted, this is worse because it's the end and we trying to hypothetically speak of who gonna win the championship this year.
Yeah, I got three kind of major points. So like the first one is like, all right, I think we kind of have to
Mm-hmm.
overvalue and undervalue to a certain extent because okay, all of them aren't created equal. I think we both said that plenty of times because you got the Bill Russell 11-13, but it's only 8 teams in the league, and
Right.
now the league's gone through so much expansion, and then you got to consider the fact of international players have crossed over due to the global game.
Mm-hmm.
Guys' skill sets have evolved, all that kind of stuff. So on ESPN just dropped the list. On our list, I'm not putting Bill top 5, top 3. I don't care how many MVPs and chips he won.
I don't care.
I don't care that I don't care that the finals MVP is named after him. Much respect, salute to Bill. But man, 11 chips in the league where there's only 8 teams and y'all had a real short playoff.
And you
You
had
kind
the
of
best team.
so you kind of have to undervalue that over the course of time. Winning it all that's the goal no matter what, and they did that.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, just considering the circumstances of the league and everything, that kind of has a stain on it. And then we get to those LeBron Cavs and Dirk Mavs because he beat the Heatles. Now people think Dirk the doggone best or second best power forward in the world. Like. So like his legacy has gotten elevated,
Right. All
because he did
yeah.
because he did win one because of who he beat. And same way with the LeBron one. If they won in 2015, he may not be he might not have elevated up to that, in my opinion, second, third spot in the GOAT rankings. He could still be 4 or 5 depending upon who you ask. I know Jalen Rose them say he like 5 or 6, all that kind of stuff. But because he beat 7-3-9 Warriors, came back from down 3-1. Now that ring is elevated some more. But we were texting about it, man. So I'm going to give you this main point why I want to talk about it right here. This is the main point. So if we putting asterisks on rings out here, if we saying 99 Spurs is an asterisk, let's talk about LeBron for a second. All right, so by the bylaws, if the season is done right now, the bylaw says the team with the best record since February 1st. If the season starts before April 1st, the team with the best record since February 1st is by default the champion if the season is done. So that means the Bucks may have the best record overall, but that means the Lakers by default win the title. So if we're going to talk about LeBron being the GOAT, I got some criticism.
And my boy 4-6.
Look, I got some criticism. All right. People want to forget 2012 lockout season, shortened season, 66 games. And then you want to talk about, all right, if you win the title by default this year, that's 2 of your rings kind of compromised right there, man. And then, 2013, you got saved by Ray Allen shot. So how can we say LeBron potentially the GOAT if we put asterisks on rings out here now? I'm just saying now, if we get a default title by the bylaws and a 2012 title in the lockout year, and we put asterisks on lockout short seasons or stuff like that, he only legit got 2 rings at that point. Really could say 1.5 because Ray Allen saved him. So like
hey, you start breaking it down after that. Really,
so I'm like, and then low key, you could discredit the 2016 ring because Draymond got suspended in Game 5. So I mean,
he got 0.75 rings.
So I'm just. And I love LeBron, so I'm not dissing LeBron at all.
Right.
I'm just saying this to the point of the overvaluing and devaluing rings. Like the end result, all that matter, man. When somebody look at a resume, 6-time champion, 6-time Finals MVP, 3-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP, on a resume, that should be all that matter. But when you start getting into the nuances of what happened in this series or that season, who got hurt, who didn't make it, you can start devaluing certain guys. And that's kind of where we are today with LeBron and the Bill Russells on these ESPN GOAT lists.
Yeah. So, all right. So let me ask you this. So what championship in recent history? So you can go since the Last Dance is something we've been talking about. You can go from the start of the Last Dance championship all the way to now. Which one do you think is like the most overrated? The one we value too much and we should not?
2015 Warriors. Everybody ever heard.
like that
2015 Warriors, man.
like that
They didn't play a playoff series against one fully healthy team. Like they were missing a key piece on every team.
Yeah, I think what you had. I think Russ went. Not Russ. Was it Russ that went down? No, Mike Conley went down. Remember that one? Chris Paul. I can't remember who else went down, but the point. Kyrie went down. I think every point guard went down against him. So
Yeah, Kevin Love was out in the East Finals. Then as soon as game one, I mean Kyrie up out of there.
who broke Kevin Love's shoulder? Olenek.
They were killing Olenek with it was like a little UFC move, a little shoulder wrench.
But yeah. So yeah, okay. I like that one. 2015. I honestly, bro, I'm gonna say the Dallas Mavericks ring. Like, I think we overvalued that one too much. Now, here's why. All right, so we know. All right, coming into that season, we know who the favorite. Lakers won 2 in a row. Kobe Bryant is prime. Paul Gasol is prime. Up and coming star big Andrew Bynum with Odom with the Fisher. Like we know who the favorite, right? Okay, so beating the Lakers, I'm fine with that. That's amazing. Especially sweep them, like domination, good. Everybody has to realize this OKC team, you cannot say what they have become. Because in that moment, they weren't ready. Lakers smacked them the year before. Dallas smacked them this year. When they finally made over the hump, they got smacked in the finals. Like they got smacked every time. They was not ready. I'm sorry. Like we have to realize this Dirk championship run was great, but not for the OKC one. Like beating OKC wasn't the reason why it was a great one. It was great because you swept the 2-time champion, and because you beat the Heaters. What they call it, not 1, not 2, not 3. Team. So it's like you put the first, I guess, super team assemble. I feel like we kind of went over the names of just LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, and like the fourth player wasn't even close to they level. Like so, Haslam and Chalmers. Like so I feel like we overvalued that one, especially when you saying that's the reason why he's the second best power forward, or he's third best power forward, like because he got that. And you don't want to mention Tyson Chandler, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. You don't want to mention Jason Kidd, all-time Hall of Famer, best point guard, one of the best point guards ever played. You don't want to mention the Jason Terrys of the world who you'll get you 18 points a game. So I think that was pretty overrated. It's just because everybody uses it so much as the best one. And I think it's a great run, but we can't act like that OKC run was just so beating OKC was the end all be all.
Yeah, man. While we're on the subject, man, I want to give some shout outs to Tyson Chandler, man, because everywhere that dude go, man, winning followed Tyson Chandler, bro. Yep. With the Hornets and Chris Paul, they were winning a lot of games down there with Byron Scott. Championship with the Mavs. He was on the Knicks won Defensive Player of the Year, won some big games there. And man, even when the Bobcats made the playoffs that year, that was Tyson, Steven Jackson, and Gerald Wallace. So Tyson he'll keep piece to get some wins.
Hey, you know what's crazy? So, the Rockets traded Clint Capella and had P.J. Tucker playing center, but the backup Tyson Chandler, man.
Hey, when all this in, but Tyson might be right place, right time.
Was it? And Tyson Chandler got drafted by my boy Jerry Krause, man. So shout out Jerry.
Got drafted by the Bulls, man. Jerry was trying to go big with Tyson and
Eddie Curry.
Yeah, and he had took Elton Brand and traded him a little while before that, man. So Jerry Krause know how to find a good big man.
For real. So all right, so we talk about the overrated, and I do like your point about how we have to, and if you going to start putting asterisks on a lot of championships, we can really break down a lot of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really
that's the thing. Like, really,
so don't open that box.
You can poke a hole in anybody's championship. You can say like. I think it was 95 when the league expanded to like I think Toronto and Vancouver in 95. So you can say that 95 championship was diluted. And people do try to criticize Jordan for playing in the expansion league and all that kind of stuff. But, you can find a hole in anybody's resume. You can say one of the Lakers titles is, they beat the Spurs when Duncan was hurt. Like, you can say all kind of things about that kind of stuff. But
Derek Fisher shot 0.4 seconds. Was it really 0.4? Like, did you like today's technology? Is he making that shot?
I still don't believe that shot
Hey,
was legit. Man,
I
there's
don't
no way
care.
you
He
can.
finished, baby.
There's no way you can run up, catch the ball, turn, get it off, and hit it. I mean, great shot by him, but
Right,
man,
right.
that's point 0.4 seconds. That's fast as heck,
But you
man.
got to think that shot right there for the Lakers, the Robert Ory Sacramento Kings one.
And
He
look, Tim Donnie, he was betting on the series, man.
watch out.
So,
Hey, hey, but look,
so
but that those two shots changed the series, and you like you can poke a hole in and say, man, like that shot probably shouldn't have counted. Tim Donahue out here betting on games, so he throwing at games. You can do a lot of different things, man. You can poke hole at like you can even poke hole at. I mean, I know it was greatness. You can poke hole at Jordan's championships, and you can say, oh well, he came after Bird and Magic was old and he left right when Shaq and Kobe and Tim Duncan came up. Like you can poke a hole in any championship. Don't open that box
yeah,
up.
yeah, that's why like the whole asterisk thing. I'm not cool with putting asterisks on championships. I'm not cool with that. But I'm okay with how you value certain rings because that was Cleveland first championship in who knows how long, 50 some years. So
They're never going to win again either in no sport.
yeah, so so you kind of got to hold that in a good regard, or like that was Toronto's first one, so you're gonna have to hold that in some high regard. And plus, like that whole trade with Kawhi and all that kind of stuff, you gotta hold some of
And
that.
wasn't 11 wasn't that Dirk's Dallas first one?
Yeah, 11, and then like people love that D Wade '06 one with the Heat and what he did in the finals. So you kind of have to hold certain ones in that in a higher regard. Like the '01 Lakers get held in high regard because they blitzed through the playoffs. So certain '04 Pistons they were. I mean, not yeah they no beat the Lakers, broke up the Lakers. Then you got '08 Celtics that kind of put the Lakers Celtics rivalry back on the map. So you kind of can you know big up,
Yeah.
big up some more than others, or stuff like that. Especially when you only won like one, it's like, well, that Mavs, that Mavs one, boy. But when you got multiple, it's like, oh, the Bulls. How do you rank the Bulls championships? You really can't rank them. It's because you got so many. It's like ranking your kids. You don't rank your kids.
You would,
But man,
but you ain't gonna say it to him.
what you always screwing up.
What? All right, so. Quickly, what would be the most undervalued? The one that we don't talk about that really should be valued higher than what it really is.
And we still going on the same time frame of like from Jordan's run to now, or
I mean, if you got that, or if you got another one from a different time period, that's fine.
Like I don't think people talk about either one of the Pistons or the Rockets ones enough, just because of. I think the NBA just kind of built around like that major star. So you got the '80s coming off Magic Bird, and then you got the Pistons who just disrupt, that transition of going from Magic Bird to Mike. They broke that up for 2 years. So, people mainly look at them as like the bad boys, not as 2-time back-to-back champions, and could have been 3-time back-to-back champions, and not for that crazy call in '88, so they could have potentially won 3 in a row, and then both of those Rockets wins because people always try to say if Mike was in the lead, this wouldn't happen. But as we've seen, dude was burned out. They probably wouldn't even made it to the finals. So
Right.
they would have got
Right.
they got torn up.
Yeah.
So because I think both of those both of those teams back to backs get overlooked because what now with the LeBron with the Cavs and the Heat, they're gonna always get big up because it's LeBron. Then you got the KD, Steph Warriors dominant 5-year runs. They're gonna always get their props, and then those other teams who we're already talking about, they'll get their props because of their first one or is attached to a certain player. But I think those, Hakeem and Zeke's 2 championships, they get overlooked a lot.
And I think that's the part you make, like you put right there. Like not only did they get one, like Toronto may only get one. They probably done. You got the Mavericks. They probably. I think Luka gonna get a championship, but at this time period, they're only gonna get one. They sneak and get one. Pistons sneaked in and get one. 04 Pistons. But the Zeke Pistons and the Rockets, not only they got 2, and that's the thing about it. They got 2 back to back. You're talking about only teams that were back repeating was the Magic Birds of the world and Jordan, and now Zeke and Hakeem do it too. Like he's like, man, anybody can do it. It's what's your mindset going through as when you win the one, I can get another one because you think about it. we didn't have that many champions. Like,
Oh no.
since the 80s, like we didn't have that many teams that won the championship because everybody kept winning the same one. So I can agree with that one too. With the Pistons and the Keem and the Rockets in the 90s. And I always tell people that story, man. Like they cannot win 8 in a row. The Bulls cannot winning is detrimental to an extent. Like you keep winning, like we saw they broke up, and Kobe Shaq broke up. The teams that stay the longest be losing. So
Like, bro, I don't think people understand. Like, when you try to go for a potential 4-peat, all that kind of stuff, the guys are tired. Like, that's why it's hard to even go back to back or even 3-peat because the guys are tired. Like, look at all those years the Lakers made it back to back. There were sometimes they were getting swept by people because they were tired. Like, they had to go lose and get remotivated to try to go win again. Like, I think Mike leaving rejuvenated him both times because he needed to get his mojo back. Like, all right, Pistons keep beating me. I'm gonna get in the gym. I'm gonna go hard. Then you beat them. All right, now I'm tired. The media killing me. I got all this personal stuff going on. I'm out of here for a little bit. Then he got remotivated. Let's go try to win again. Then before you know it, at the end of that 3-peat, the second one, he was tired again. Or look at the Lakers. They won 3. Shaq and Kobe butting heads.
Yeah.
It's time to go and start breaking it up. Even the second time with him and Powell. See what happened in 2011? They got smacked by Mavs. Like you start to hit a wall because you only can make so many deep playoff runs because you're playing basically, 20, 30 some extra games per time. That's a whole other season basically.
Right. I would say it's only 3 teams in modern history. Like I said, we're not counting the Bill Russell 12 teams. Modern history.
Man, I don't count nothing before the merger, low key, bro. Like if it happened before the merger, I don't count.
Don't count. All right. That's fine. That's a good rule. But I say 3 teams had the chance to win for the long stretches of period of time, and this is the only way it can happen. So the first one was Boston in the 80s, and drafting Len Bias was that was something you had to do. You have to have a stacked team. You win a bunch of games. You win a bunch of titles. To have another player just as elite come to the forward to help y'all out because he haven't won. So you got that one. Then you have the Lakers. The Lakers in 2000s could have done it if this was 97 Malone and 97 Gary Payton. Like the fact that it was 04 versions, that's why even though they got to the finals, they haven't won, so they're motivated. They're just too old. So like that was one team, and then you got the Warriors with the Curry adding Durant, but of course LeBron's got in between and won one. So I think those 3 teams are the only one who really had the chance, but they did it the right way as far as you have to add somebody who never won because you can't just keep winning. So if the Bulls would have added, I don't know, damn Clyde, I don't care. Like whoever you want to say. Somebody who never won, Jordan probably, you gonna get 25? Hey.
But look, that's what happened with those 95 Rockets though. They went and got Clyde in that trade and
right.
That propelled that playoff run because you always need somebody who's gonna either be, like you said, A, motivated because they haven't won one, or B, that young person who can kind of step up, like they kind of grow up before your eyes and take you over the hump. So you need something like that.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
That's what's needed to get to that next level. I'm Rob Pennell, and I'm going to teach you how to be an offensive machine.
All right, we back.
Fuck you mean you don't know DJ Mark B?
All right, so it's kind of
You better preach.
that's what I'm going to talk about. Dak Prescott, right? So we talked about his contract with the Cowboys, and they talk about like why he hasn't signed. And everybody want to point the finger at Cowboys, which is fine to do to a certain extent, but you got to think what Dak trying to do right now amid all this COVID stuff, and also staying flexible with the market. The rumors have it that Dak Prescott is trying to get like $46 million his last year of his deal. And do you think that's crazy? Or you think that's smart because you think about it. So right now we're talking about the next guy, Russell Wilson at $35 million. So we talk about Mahomes, Watson, Lamar Jackson, the next big three guys, and they're going to get at least 40. So we talk about 5 years from now, Dak Prescott, that money is probably still going to go up, maybe, and that's what that's what you're predicating on. Do you think it's crazy for Dak to ask for 45 that last season, or you think that's really just smart business?
It's smart business, man, because the NFL is $1 billion business. These franchises, especially the Dallas Cowboys, they worth so much doggone money. Players, when you retire, that organization will continue on for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, but you have a short shelf life as a player. I'm always for the players getting the most amount of money that they can, but with a small caveat. Get the most money you can, but don't do it at the expense of winning. Because I don't want to hear you saying you want to trade, or you ain't got no weapons, all that kind of stuff.
Bradley Beal.
So like on the NBA, and that goes for NBA and NFL side, But I know guys want to get their money, get secured long term, and all that kind of stuff. But don't be out here taking the max and knowing you want to try to win. So as a quarterback, when you take the max, that limits your defense, that limits your offensive line help, receiver help, all that kind of stuff. I ain't got to say the running back because we don't pay running backs. And on the NBA side, when you start, taking the max and give it to the wrong person, like a Chandler Parsons, you screwed for a while because nobody gonna want to trade for the contract. So get the most money you can, but don't do it at the expense of sabotaging the roster.
So I kind of want to ask you this. So you remember growing up, if you was a first round draft pick, how much money was you making? Like, you was getting $45 million out of the gate. Like, record setting deals.
It changed with Jamarcus Russell,
right?
NFL wise.
Right. Yeah. So this is my point. All right. So we saw like Jamarcus Russell, Sam Bradford, Carson Palmer, all these number one picks that came out early 2000s, heading toward 2010s. They got big money before they even stepped foot on the field. And that's because we was overvaluing that QB position early. So what did the NFL do? They fixed it. They say, okay, you got this scale. The first pick gonna make this much. Second pick gonna make this much. Just finally a rookie scale, just like the NBA. And you saw NBA take advantage of, all these guys.
Even for a while, the NBA didn't have it because Javon Howard, he had the same age as Mike had. David Falk, he made like $100 million, I think, on his first 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. So, but everybody had to fix because one, as a GM, you cannot miss. You cannot throw money. First of all, you're already missing on a player. Like, all right, imagine this, Rashad. Imagine if that rookie's thing wasn't there, and you paid Mitch Trubisky for being the second overall pick. Like, not only did you pick the wrong player by a long shot, you paid him all the money. So now your team, so you can't even get better. At least now when you got Mitch, that's why you saw them had that great year because they could pay Khalil Mack and they can do all this different stuff. Do you think at some point the NFL is going to say, no, we're not going past this number. This is the top. And only a few guys can meet this threshold or go or maybe push it slightly. So I'll say, for example, I think Russ and Rodgers got the most money right now as a quarterback. So let's say I think Russ is my top 5. Rodgers is 5 to 6 because he's on the way down. You have Rodgers in your top 5 or somewhere around there?
Yeah, I think it's no order. Russ, Mahomes, Rodgers. I got Carson Wentz up there as well.
All right, so let's say we both think they're top 5 quarterbacks, Russ and Rodgers. Russ making 35. I want to say Rodgers is 36, somewhere around there.
Yeah, he's 36. And I think Russ is 31, I think.
So if
age wise.
No, I mean as far as $1 million like their contract. I want to say
contract wise, they both in them 30s. It should be both.
Right, so
like 30s,
by mid 30s. So if Dak Prescott coming up to the thing, and let's say the threshold, whatever your criteria is, are you saying No, this is Russell Wilson making $35 million. So all you can ask for is 34.8. I'm tired of this. At some point the owners gonna get tired of this setting the market situations. You know what I mean? Like I understand that you have to keep doing that for the business sake, but think about this. So let's say if the cap, whatever the total cap is for a whole team, let's just say $100 million, just to keep it simple math. If Russ is making 35, like your team is already like hard to make the rest of your roster because you don't have that much money. So we're making the salary cap for quarterbacks too high, like percentage wise. And it's not 35%. It's probably more like 16, 17. But it's like, okay, as an owner, I know Russell Wilson made 35. I'm sorry, Dak Prescott. I'm sorry, Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry, Jimmy G. I'm sorry, Derek Carr. These guys who coming up next, I'm sorry. You're not on Russell Wilson's level, so you can't go past 35. And, it's kind of like a reverse rookie scale. When you think about it that way, it's like, at some point, do you think they will cut this off? Because if you think about it, if the salary cap will go up because of all the extra game, 17 games schedule, so that's extra money, more TV deals, blah blah. Do you think they'll cut this off because we can't just keep valuing the quarterback position to be this much and this much and this much, and like you mentioned, it's gonna like hurt the cost of winning because now I can't pay my running back who the market never goes up. I can't pay my corner, Jalen Ramsey, he gonna make $20 million. Aaron Donald at $20-something million. Buckner just got 21. So you're talking about the next D tackle making 23? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to keep doing this right here. The money don't go to a certain point. It's like you're going to always be losing.
Well, I can't say they'll cut it off because, as CBAs, players and all those guys, they have to agree. Them and the owners have to agree upon percentage splits, all that kind of stuff. Right. So I can't say they'll cut it off because as a player, as long as I can keep making the money, the amount of money I want, I don't care.
Yeah.
To a certain degree, you don't care. So like, some guys will be willing to do the Brady on the back end. Cause Brady got his money too, but on the back end, he like, I got to Super Bowl a couple of times, but I didn't win the championship. So now I'm gonna start taking these discounts and try to win, and which they did, or like the Drew Brees is doing now. I'm gonna take discounts or 1-year deals to start hitting. But I think while you're in your prime, though, you're incentivized to go ahead and take the bag and whatever come with that.
All right, so you talk about Tom Brady. So do you think that was more of Tom Brady saying, I'm going to take the discount? Or do you think it's more of Bill Belichick and them saying, this is what we're going to give you? Like, I think to me, nobody can tell us what happened in the room except those people that was there. But to me, I think Patriots presented something to Tom Brady and say, all right, this is what we can give you. Here's why. We want to pay this guy. We want to pay this guy. And if you take this much, you're going to hurt this position. You're going to hurt this position. And I think that's why Tom Brady took less. Because think about it. I don't think Tom Brady, like, he know he one of the best quarterbacks ever do it, but I don't think he would do it at the expense of, I'm going to take mediocre money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's that much for Brady to say. Like, because he just got $25 million?
Yeah, 25 from Tampa Bay.
If Tom Brady wanted to play and he wanted to discount, he could take $5 million and let's go pay Clowney. Who was that free agency? You got Clowney out there. You got a right guard. The Saints just cut. That you need offensive line help. You got Everson Griffin still like that. You can if he really wanted to take a discount, he gonna play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna play whether you or not, because he want to still play the game. And it's like the money value is like, okay, Dak Prescott getting all this money, and it's like who losing this situation? Because if both sides can lose this, right? Dak can lose this because Cowboys already got their insurance policy Andy Dalton. And I don't know what you think about Andy Dalton at this stage, but they probably can still go far. Like, they can win 9 games, 10 games. And on the other side, Cowboys, if you don't pay Dak Prescott and Dalton isn't who he was, then now you have no quarterback, and now you have to go find one.
Well, I disagree on the Brady thing just real quick, just real minor, because he can get his money, but Bill, when paying certain people, Bill will get you up out of here, will get some more picks and retool younger. So Brady could always keep, him and his agent probably come in with a number in mind. All right, this is our number. So we'll just say it's $28 million. We would look for 28. But if Bill say, look, we need the extra $3 million to do some small things here,
Right.
here, and here to kind of help us out, then you're like, okay, I'll take 25. But you're gonna always come in with a number in mind, and you can't
Yeah.
lowball them and say, if you're coming in at 28 and I'm coming in, at 20, you're like, oh no, that ain't it right there. So then at that point, guys start to feel disrespected. But just looking at how Bill and those guys always did the roster as far as trade you or cut you for, we got to pay you before it's too early. I think Brady was always fine with taking whatever they offered, as long as they kind of met what him and his agent were looking for number wise, and you can explain, all right, this is what we're looking for and why
Right.
we're doing what we're doing. But on the Dak side, he should just do the Kirk Cousins, man. Just play on a couple franchise tags, go on a year by year basis. But I can see why he may want a long term contract too, because you've been on a rookie scale and you were a late round pick. You really haven't made that kind of you haven't made that big money, man. So I can see how he's thinking, what if the Alex Smith thing happens to me? I'm done. What if, torn ACL, anything, man? Like you really don't know, because football is a violent game. And that would really set back his career as well as the Cowboys, because now you don't have a quarterback and you got to try to go find another quarterback. I like Andy, and his first 4 or 5 years, he did make the playoffs, a couple of 10, 11 win seasons, stuff like that. But he is, even though he may be wiser in the QB room, stuff like that, he's still, I think, around 30ish now. And, you're starting to get 9, 10 years in the league, and you're starting to break down a little bit. And, you got your division, Daniel Jones and Giants, Redskins on the rise, Carson Wentz, the Eagles, they're not going anywhere. So you could start putting yourself in a position where you start missing the playoffs, or you're going 8-8, 500, and it's like, well, we fired Jason Garrett for, we still gonna be mediocre.
Yeah.
So,
but I think both teams are playing a dangerous game.
so you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Y'all gonna say you gotta be careful.
All right. So I mean, I think that he should take the franchise tag for now. But to a certain extent, it's like I can understand why you want that $45 million, because if they don't change this scale, it's gonna keep growing, and you come to look at it, like look at Derek Carr's contract. It's terrible right now. Like, for a starting quarterback, it looks terrible because he got paid the highest paid player 3-4 years ago, and now
the market changed.
done changed.
It was the same with Cam too. He was only gonna make $20 million this year, but that's because the market reset itself with salary cap jumps, TV deals, and
I think it's great.
just lead revenue, all that kind of stuff. So, I think the NFL may start trending towards the NBA route, as far as guys may take 2 to 3 year deals and just take a heavy loaded guarantee. I think that could be a trend. Or as far as like a CBA point of view, they may try to look at what the NBA is doing, for us. All right, if you've been with this team for so long and you do 4 or 5 years, whatever, you can get this amount, but if you leave, you can get this amount. Something like that may come into play at some point.
Yeah, that's more idea. But I can understand that,
Like
man.
I wouldn't like it though. I mean, if I'm an NFL guy, I wouldn't like it, because, man, if I can make the top out pay and benefit from the salary cap jump in my year the same way the NBA did when they had that weird gap where, guys would get, like, Evan Turner getting paid like $80 million. Like, if you can benefit from that, like, if you can benefit from that, by all means, take advantage of it.
Yeah. Man, I think, from the quarterback position, you taking that much. That's why I said, like, they might have to restructure this percentage, because I'm not saying I'm not saying take away from the if 100% all the team, and the star quarterbacks are making 20%, 80 for the rest of your team for 52 players. That just don't make sense, especially for one guy, because that one guy get hurt, like you said. I mean, can you save your season? We talked about last week about backup quarterbacks. Do you have that guy to save your season? And so I just think, man, at some point, I'm not saying take the money away. I'm just saying give it to other players, like, to a certain degree. But I can understand why you want that 45 that last year, because you want to be up there in the market with everybody else. If for whatever reason that becomes available, let's say he doesn't sign the franchise. Let's say they just cut ties and say, you know what, it ain't gonna work out, blah blah, and we separating deals. So all the quarterback needy teams, do you rather just tank for Trevor, tank for Justin Fields and Trey Lance out of North Dakota State, or do you pay Dak Prescott?
It depends upon which team it is. Like, because that'll vary depending upon if you're at the top of the draft, you'll be thinking, all right, we know what this guy is, but we got this high upside with Trevor. So it'll depend upon that team and that general manager. Do you want to go the cheaper route with the draft pick or go the expensive route with that? Because I don't care what team he can go to. He gonna ask for $30-something million. He gonna ask for whatever Goff and Wentz getting. He asking for that.
At least that. Yeah, right.
So
yeah.
So it'll depend upon who's in the market as far as what kind of position are you in? Are you stuck with? Do you see like I don't know, a Derek Carr? Like, do you see like Dak as an upgrade from that? So you will trade this guy to bring in this guy, or do you feel like, all right, well, we tried Haskins, we tried Kyle Allen, let's go get this guy? It'll kind of depend upon we tried Jarrett Stidham, do we go get this guy? It'll just kind of depend upon what team it is and who's at the top of that draft and how much they believe in a prospect. Because like look at this year with Tua and Herbert, it's like, well, nobody want to go get Cam because they're in position to get one of those guys.
Right. I just think Dak Prescott, to me, this is my opinion. I mean, I don't think it's a hot take. I think Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback in the league today. Going into the season, I think he'd be top 10. And he's shown the ability to do different things. So, I think maybe the sorry teams, obviously, to take Trevor Lawrence because adding Dak Prescott doesn't make you a playoff caliber team. But, like you said, the Raiders, perfect example. I think signing Dak would be tremendous to that team, and that team can, boom, be an AFC West powerhouse, So versus the Jags, who traded their whole team away and got rookies now. So, you're right. It's all going to depend on the team. But if he does become available, man, like we saw,
because Jags will pay for him. Like they'll pay for him.
You saw,
but if they got the first pick, they going cheap and gonna get Trevor.
Right. But it's like, man, you saw what Kirk Cousins got on the free market. We really never see, top 15 plus quarterbacks hit the market. So this year, I mean, you can say what you want about Jameis, you can say what you want about Tom Brady at this stage, but they're not top 10 at this stage of their careers. So it's like it's gonna be crazy to see how much they get that would get if he was there.
Man, profit articles featuring Tom Brady and Dak over the next 2 weeks.
Facts, and we come hard with that one. Last but not least, man, the ESPN article. We got 7 minutes of stories.
Man, I'm finna sign off.
Hey, what's that Michael Jordan? Let me get up. Man,
what Mike did? What?
You need what? Man, that's crazy.
Mike was like, "Come on, y'all tripping, bro." ESPN, they wilding, bro.
They've been wilding for the longest as far as lists concerns. Like, you remember they used to put out the ESPN top basketball players in the game, like,
top 100 for the season.
Oh my God, but they was terrible. Like, so I remember they had like Lonzo Ball like 50 and Melo 50.
They had Kobe at 92, 93 one year. I think 2016 they had like AI and Chris Paul at like 27 and 40. Then now this year it didn't flip flop. They got on oppositely ranked, all that kind of stuff. You got Giannis at 27. To me, that's a hot take, man. Giannis at 27 right now. The man just won their first playoff series, but they love killing James Harden for the playoff.
They love killing James Harden. They love killing Anthony Davis for not making the playoffs. We mad at Davis for being 45, but Giannis at 27. First of all,
they on the same tier to me.
First of all, I'm mad that Chris Paul is 10 spots behind Steve Nash. Ooh, y'all look at I don't like the cuss, boy, because that's a cuss word right there.
Bro,
that's a cuss word.
Look, man, much respect to these guys' family, what they did to the game and all that.
Yeah.
But look, I'm not putting Russell Westbrook behind no Bob Cousy.
Hey, boy, Bob.
I don't care if it is one spot. I don't care.
Robert Cousy, boy. Yeah, man. You can't tell me Harden is 32 and CP's 40 and then turn around and flip and say like, Durant and Curry are top 15. Chris Paul, prime wise, I mean, because his career's almost done, and Curry is not. So it's like 30 spots,
bro.
That's a lot.
I mean, on the point guard ranking all time, we probably got the same thing, just different order. I got Magic 1.
Right.
I still got Big O 2. I got Steph at 3, Zeke at 4, and I got Chris Paul at 5. And I can debate the Zeke Chris Paul. The tiebreaker is just one guy has 2 rings and a Finals MVP versus Chris Paul, who kind of carried multiple franchises. So you can debate that. And you can debate the Steph over Big O because of impact on the game, all that kind of stuff. And also the era. Like I said, Big O was before the merger. Some of that kind of don't count to a certain degree. But I still think he number 2 because he the original triple-double.
Yeah. I mean, we pretty much. I mean, I got Magic. I have Zeke as 2 for me right now. Trajectory wise, Curry will be better than Zeke at some point in my book. But right now, I do have Zeke above him. I would go Curry 3, Big O 4, and then my five would be CP or Stockton coming in at 6. So
yeah, 5, 6 right there.
So
yeah.
it's like I mean we pretty much got the same guys, just in order, but. Yeah, man. So
and it's all a close call. That's
right.
It's all a close call. But for them to have a list that separate like that ain't cool.
To me, it's like, all right. So when I was scrolling through the list, I was like, okay, based off my rankings, how like I can care less about Chris Paul 40. If Chris Paul was 40 and Nash was 49, okay, that my rankings are right. But when I scroll up, I see Charles Barkley. I say, okay, Charles. Okay. I can see Kevin Garnett. All right, cool. That's for me. I mean, I like Barkley better than Garnett, but that's fine. I can understand. Dirk. And then Malone. We talked about this before. If you are a Dirk fan, or when you rank the top 5, the big power forwards, the top 5, Dirk is either 2 or 5. You cannot put him in between a Barkley and Malone and say, oh, this and this and this, when Barkley, Kevin Garnett, and Malone are all around players. You cannot say Dirk is bet in between either of them. He had to be second behind Tim Duncan because you say offense is better than all around, or he's 5th because you understand that all around is better than just offense. So stuff like that I was going through. The top 10, don't get us started with top 10, because 9 of my 10 was there. Y'all know who shouldn't be there,
bro. Look. Mike 1, Bron 2, Kareem 3. Now this is just me. Kareem 3, Kobe 4. Just because he got more championships don't mean he better. Larry Bird is number 5. Magic Johnson number 6. Shaq number 7. Tim Duncan number 8. Hakeem number 9. And Kevin Durant number 10. That's my top 10 right there.
All right, see, I still got
and you saw who was omitted. Bill.
Get Bill out of here. I love Bill. I mean, I love watching him on the NBA Finals and stuff, like walking around the arena and stuff. But I'm sorry, like you can't be 6'9", under 50%. I don't care how it could be 6 teams, 20 teams. I don't care. Them 11 rings, that mean nothing to me. My top 10 almost the same, except I don't have KD yet. I still got Wilt. I got Wilt as my 10. I think Akeem Olajuwon.
And look, Wilt's my 11.
So that's fine. So, but I think Akeem Olajuwon gets so much. Like, I don't understand. Like, what number is he on this list? You remember?
Hakeem was like number 12 or 13, okay, I think. He wasn't that far out.
KD's 14, 13 was Curry. I think Big O and Akeem must have been the 12 and 11 spot. But Hakeem got to be in your top 10, man. I don't see where you saying that he's when we talk about elite guys, two-way superstar. Biz can't do it by himself. He ain't really had no good. I mean, name all the players he had with him. Like, we talk about every big. Shaq had Kobe. Quickly before we run out of time, Shaq had Kobe.
Kobe, Penny, Wade.
Right. Tim Duncan had big. Had guards, Hall of Fame guards. Wilt Chamberlain had Jerry West, Elgin Baylor. Like, all these guys had somebody. Hakeem got Drexler 1 year. Like Kenny the Jet Smith. Are you seeing Robert Horry? Come on, bro.
Man, Sam Cassell, man. Don't do Sam like that.
Sam, man. Come on, man.
Man, don't do Mad Max like that, bro.
Man, yeah. So hey, Hakeem didn't have it and still got 2 championships. So I don't care if Jordan was there or not. Damn it. Man, this list's crazy, bro. Like, I don't even know why they try. They don't.
Man, I'm done with ESPN list. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm leaving it at that. All right, man. That's. We got 20 seconds left. Anything we'll say before I get out of here, man?
Nah, man. Everybody stay safe, man.
Facts. Hopefully I got a haircut by the next time y'all see me, because I'm struggling. So that's Preach Care Preach with Rashad. We out.